Am I the asshole? Is he stunned? For telling my daughter she doesn't have to give up her headbands if she doesn't want to. I have a daughter, whom we'll call Olivia. Olivia is in 1st grade. She has this classmate whom we'll call Jake. Jake is developmentally delayed and completely non-verbal. They were in the same kindergarten class, but the classroom setup was different, so I don't think they interacted much, but things are different this year. This year he's taken an interest in Olivia's headbands. He doesn't pull hair or anything, he just likes to pat the bow part during carpet time, I guess. And surprisingly, she doesn't mind at all. Recently, he was having a bad day, her words. Not mine, so my daughter gave him her headband. The para kept asking her if she was sure about it, and she insisted on giving it to Jake. He was extremely happy about it, and now carries around the headband as a comfort thing. I told Olivia that what she did was very kind, but she doesn't have to give him anything else, if she doesn't want to. My husband is unhappy with what I told her. He thinks that Olivia has plenty of headbands, she could spare a few to make this kid happy, and that we need to be teaching her to not be selfish. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she doesn't have to give up her headbands if she doesn't want to? No, kanen isit handano. A parent can teach both. You're teaching her that it's not necessary to give her things away. That it's okay to just offer kind words and friendship. Her dad is trying to teach her not to be selfish, which is good but within reason. It doesn't matter how many hairbands she has. The point is to teach her that giving objects doesn't always fix everything. She's very young, and she'll eventually learn the difference. You both sound like great parents, and she's such a sweet girl. Nope. Much better to teach your kid she has autonomy and agency. Not the asshole, she was very sweet to do this, but should know that if he wants another headband, then she can say no, and tell him he already has one of hers. Not the asshole. It's especially important to teach girls they don't have to be self-sacrificing for others. Those lessons start young. Your response was perfectly adequate. It was her choice to give it because she's kind. But in that situation, she does have a choice, like with being touched without her permission, giving him things she likes to eat, etc. I have a feeling setting boundaries with him will be chaotic, but she needs to stand up for herself. Just because someone is developmentally challenged doesn't mean they deserve things they want. I think it's very wise of you to point out that although that was kind of her, and she received positive reactions, it's okay to choose not to do it again. Your husband needs to understand that making other people happy through personal sacrifice is a dangerous lesson to be teaching his daughter, and he needs to cut it out. Giving away something that makes you happy to make someone else happy instead is not sharing anyway. So what happens when your daughter has multiples of something else more expensive and starts giving them away? Or just any presents that you have given her? Not the asshole. Your husband is fine to encourage generosity, but he's not contemplating how far little kids can take this sort of thing. He's also not taking into account that this can also lead to a doormat-like personality. It's fine to share. It's also fine to have boundaries and say no. Not the asshole, you did the right thing by reinforcing the idea that while she can give things away if she wants, she doesn't have to. Because she has already given him one of her headbands, it could easily turn into a situation where she's expected to give him her headband if he is having a bad day. This was you made sure she doesn't feel any pressure to do that if she doesn't want to, even if it is just perceived pressure. Not the asshole. They're Olivia's headbands. She can do whatever she likes with them. She already showed she's not selfish, so that lesson has already been learned. Now, she needs to learn to set reasonable boundaries. Your husband can shut it. Not the asshole. Nah, I think they're both good lessons to teach a child, and both need to be taught in moderation. Kids should be taught to share and be kind, but not to hurt themselves in helping others. Reddit will often tell you that you don't need to share, blah blah, be selfish, blah blah, but Imo, your husband, was probably more right in this circumstance. Clearly your daughter was happy to give her headband, so why not encourage her to do something nice when it's really no harm to her? Not the asshole. You're giving your daughter a choice, and that's a good thing. Not the asshole. Adults also aren't expected to give up things they own to make others happy. It was a very kind thing, but in the end it's her choice. No, you're teaching boundaries. It's wonderful to be kind, and you should be proud parents. Not the asshole at all for teaching your daughter boundaries and autonomy. I'd be having a deep talk with my husband, though, about why he was so bothered by this. What he said doesn't sit right with me. Not the asshole. You have to teach kids they don't have to do everything for other people. They should be taught to think and to differentiate between things they have to do, because reasons, and the things they can do if it's their choice, but they are under no obligation to do so. This prevented my daughter from being sad, while other kids got touched and didn't really know what to do. So teaching her to make her own choices is not teaching her to be selfish. It teaches to have boundaries and helps with enforcing them. Not the asshole, because with little kids sometimes they need to be told they can say no. My oldest used to give her treasure box toys away on the bus, and one day she was really sad about it, and I asked her why she gave it away, and she said the boy on the bus said please, and so she had to give it to him. This has never been a rule in our house, so I don't know where she learned it, but I had to sit her down and explain that those are her toys and she can say no. Not the asshole. You encouraged her to be kind, but you also let her know it is okay not to be overly kind. I routinely have to remind people, don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. If you know that phrase, you know that some people will give and give and give of themselves to the point they are miserable. You are starting her on a road of kindness within reasonable boundaries.